Andreas, Constantinou, VisionMobile. I'm here to present our latest report just launched, Developer Economics 2012. We've measured which platforms developers are using, abandoning, which countries they're coming from, which countries they're seeing downloads from, how much money are they making, how much money are apps costing, and so on. I'll give you a quick 10-minute snapshot of all this. And this is sponsored by BlueVia, the developer arm of Telefonica, thanks to which this is freely downloadable, 70 pages of charts and research, third report in the series, launched just now. So 1,500 developers in our survey, 7 different platforms. All the stats here you see are normalized by platform. That's why we talk about developers and not respondents, across 83 countries, 5 different continents. And so I'm going to run through 10 top insights from the report. To start with, the competition today is among a very different bunch of OEMs and a very different points of competition. So we call this a pyramid of handset maker competition, 4 tiers. Apple, of course, playing at the top in terms of profits, having about 74% of profits in Q1. Samsung is the role model in the second tier, which is the tier of we call meaningful differentiation. Samsung is a fast follower. The reason they've been able to get the rest of the profits practically after Apple is they have 2 assets. One is they have vertical integration, including the components in the BOM that are the most expensive, like screens and hardware. Secondly, because they're the first to market with Android designs. And so in order to be a fast follower and be making profits in the Android camp, you need 2 ingredients. You need vertical integration with in-house components, which Samsung has, HTC doesn't. And you also need to be the first to market with these components. Everybody else on Tier 3 is competing on price. It's a cutthroat game. You make no profits at all. And then you have the feature phone segment, where the floor is continually dropping down. Very different market, very different competition. You see on the left-hand side of the chart the positions of the different OEMs they've taken over the years, notably RIM and Nokia, who are now pretty much competing on price against the Android assemblers. Number 2, we're at just above 1 million apps in total. Where are the next 10 million apps coming from? Now, to answer this question, we've plotted this graph where we look at smartphone penetration on the horizontal axis versus user engagement. That means downloads per app. Downloads per user per country on the y-axis, and the bubble size is the addressable market. That means the mobile subscribers per country. And so you see most of the downloads today are coming from the countries in the top right quadrant, the maturity quadrant. And all of these countries are moving in that direction from lower left, top right. And as a result, most of the downloads, the next 10 million apps, we believe will come from the opportunity quadrant on the lower left, which is the BRIC countries primarily. Next, we found that tablets are now a mainstream screen for developers, and that is irrespective of what platform you're using. Tablets are being used by 51% of developers. And then if you look at the other sort of hyped screens, TVs, e-readers, games, consoles, they're used by a far lower percentage of developers. This is, again, irrespective of platform. Number 7, Windows is the new cool. And Surface aside, developers have said, again, irrespective of platform, that the platform they plan to adopt next is Windows Phone. And so here you see what we call intent share. So we measure the intent of developers to adopt a platform. And you see 2010 versus 2011 numbers. 2011, 57% of developers, irrespective of what they're using, plan to adopt Windows Phone 7. Now, mass exodus at the same time from the B Club. That is the Brew, BlackBerry, and Bada. So again, here we measure abandoned or intent to abandon platforms. Brew is actually burning faster than Symbian, and Symbian is pretty much a dead platform, as you all know. But if you look at Brew, Bada, and BlackBerry, all of which are, still have plenty of money being invested by the platform owners, you see that the developers are actually abandoning these platforms. And if you look at developer intentions, this is the most measurable, I would say, greater testament to the future of these platforms than any other market indicator. Moving on, number 5. 1 in 3 developers live below the app poverty line. So we defined this at $500 US per app per month as the minimum amount of money a developer needs to make. Again, the average revenue per app we found is in the range of $1,200 to $3,500 or $3,900 per month. And we saw the following distribution. So on the left-hand side, you see developers who want to make money, who are interested in making money. How many of those per platform are making less than $500 a month? So on average, it's 1/3. It varies per platform, as you see. On the right-hand side, you see Android, BlackBerry, iOS, and Windows Phone, how much money they're actually making per platform, per application, per month. And of course, this varies by region. It varies by type of application. Overall, we measured about 3 months to complete an iOS application, for example, and this varies. Now, revenue models. There are 11 revenue models to choose from today, anything from the standardized pay-per-download to the more, let's say, elaborate business models like product placements within the application. On average, we found that pay-per-download is behind in-app purchasing, which is itself behind on-device placements on the handset from applications in terms of revenue models. So we came up with this chart. The orange circle shows you the popularity of that revenue model, how many developers are actually using it, again, irrespective of platform. And on the green bars, you see how much money are developers making based on that revenue model. So you see the profitability, or actually the revenue-making ability of revenue models vary. It's actually, the picture is much more complex than this for developers, but we measured pretty much the ability of different revenue models to monetize. And no surprise, of course, advertising is at the very end. Advertising is a long-range, large-scale model. Number 3, iOS most expensive platform to develop on at $27,000 per application. iOS apps are costing more than any other application to develop for many reasons. I won't go into these. In the chart, you see, again, the average cost we measured per developer, and that is based on a number of factors: development time, UX time, marketing costs, back-end costs, and all that. Number 2, going into the global picture. So we see an imbalance, firstly, between the languages spoken in the world and the languages developers speak, which is an interesting way to look at things. So in this chart, you see in green the languages spoken by the world: Chinese first, then English, then Spanish, Russian, Portuguese, and so on. And in the dotted circle, you see the languages developers speak. In other words, which languages do developers make their application available in? And so you see a large discrepancy, a large oversupply in English, an undersupply in Chinese, an oversupply in French, Spanish, German, and so on. And so this kind of hints at the opportunities in localizing to different languages, and there's, of course, lots of languages here not shown. The other way to look at the global picture is the app trade routes. So if you're a developer in North America, where are you seeing most downloads from? Or if you're a developer in Africa, where are you seeing most downloads from? Are they in-country or outside your country? And we came up with this chart, which shows in different colors the amount of downloads coming from the developer's own country versus coming from other countries. And you see North America is, of course, mostly in region for region, whereas Latin America, which has relatively few opportunities today for developers, is largely an exporting nation. And that varies, again, per continent. And finally, in terms of languages developers speak, you see additional variances. For example, Europe sees developers speaking the most languages, 2.45 languages on average per developer. That is, European developers make their applications available in more languages than developers in other countries. And finally, we frankly have spent 4 months on this project analyzing data day and night practically, but we have more data than we can chew. So we're making the data available on July 2nd on the web, visualized, anonymized, and live. So check back. For now, you can go to developereconomics.com and download the report. And that's my email, my Twitter account, and we're always hiring. Thank you.